For this episode, I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys a story about one of the ghost investigations that I was able to do at the TB hospital in Paris, Kentucky. Now, just to give you a little bit of history about the TB hospital in Paris, Kentucky, in 1950, I think it was in July of 1950, they opened up the hospital to take in the first patients that were suffering, of course, from the TB and tuberculosis, and during that time, over several years, up until 1975, this is the place that you would go once you got the disease, and this is where you were treated. Now, in 1975, after they found some different drugs and things that almost wiped out TB, they closed it down, and then it remained closed for decades. And they really didn't do anything else with it. I think that's kind of sad that they didn't go in, because it was such a huge place. And I could see where there would be a lot of potential. But it didn't, and it just kind of sat there. And then over the years, there were vandals came in, and there were a few things left, a few beds, a few pieces of equipment in the x-ray department, and then there was a little house out back. I remember us going back out there, and there were like needles and the bands that they would, wrap around your arms when they were going to take your blood and things like that. So, and then of course, at one point, they piled a whole bunch of mattresses in one room and set it on fire. I don't know if it maybe could have been vagrants or, homeless, and they were trying to keep warm during the winter months. Have no idea. But it went through all those stages that abandoned buildings usually go through. Now, back in 2000, when I started teaching at the time it was called the Lexington Community College, and it was sponsored by the UK University. When I got permission to go in, I was actually considered one of the first ghost hunters to go in, and that's because I went to the city council and I talked to the judge executive, and I presented him with a portfolio of what I did, how I was needing to bring students in from the course that I was teaching at the Lexington Community College, and I wanted to be able to let him see that I wasn't a crackpot or anything like that, and I wanted to do everything legally, because I do know that it was a non-trespassing property, and a lot of people over the years had trespassed and gone in. But I wanted to be able to use this as a sort of like a field trip for my students, so they could see firsthand how to go into an abandoned place and what to look for, and how to actually conduct a ghost investigation. So I've like I said, I've got several really unique experiences over the years, and this is another one. I think the first one that I posted not too long ago was about the little girl that would speak and give me information, and just to let you know, I was contacted by the Transylvania University, and during the this communication, I was asked to do a lecture for one of the liberal arts programs, which I love doing. And shortly after that, one of the professors came to me and asked if I could make arrangements, which I did with the executive judge executive, and we made arrangements to bring a few students in, and we were going to do a ghost investigation at the TB hospital. So today's story is going to be about us going into the TB hospital and exactly what we did find. It was pretty cool. Now, to start out, it was a little bit funny, because when we first started our doing our EVP sessions, we were really hoping that we would get maybe the little girl would come through again. Because when I would tell people about our experiences going into the TB hospital, she was kind of like the star attraction because I had so many EVPs from this little girl. Also, there were other people that would go in later, and they would also get the little girl as well. So that's what we were hoping for. We were really hoping that she would come through because we were more familiar with her. So when we got there and we started taking several pictures, I decided to kind of start out the investigation with doing my 30-second sessions where I have just a regular recorder, nothing special. I think at the time I had a little GE mini cassette recorder, analog, and I've changed the way I do EVPs a little bit now. Now I include my questions, but back then I did not include the question. I would ask a question and then I would hit the recorder and see what type of answer I would get. So of course I started out asking the little girl to come through, asking questions, but we just were not getting any response. So then I thought, well, maybe I should just ask if there was a spirit there that could come through, and if they couldn't speak, if they could just make a sound to let me know that this is what things sounded like when they were there, whether it be a voice, whether it be a breath, footsteps, a gurney rolling down, maybe a bell. I think like one time I didn't get the EVP, someone else got it. I kind of wish I was able to keep it, but it was an EVP where it chimed in and it said like, calling Dr. So-and-so. I forgot the name, but it was like calling Dr. And I thought, oh, how perfect. You know, it really did fit with the situation with being in there at the TB hospital. So while I was doing one of my sessions, one of the professors had just been able to get a very good camera for the college, for the students in what they were doing. And so he set up the camera to take a picture of me holding the recorder and asking the question and then hitting the recorder. And then he started taking some pictures of me. Now, what happened was while I was actually trying to get the spirits to come forward, whether we could take a picture of them, whether we could get an EV from them, I am communicating, and he starts to take a picture of me. Well, he wanted to get a really good shot, so he went like on the other side of the nurses' station, and the glass where they used to, like open the door, and close it. It wasn't a door; it was kind of like a little window there at the desk, and they would talk to people. That glass had been broken through, and so he kind of lined it up where when he went to take the picture of me, you could see the broken glass around me and then the picture. He took a picture. Now this is analog. This was not digital. Then when later when we went through all the pictures, we were surprised because right in front of me, he was able to capture, it's like an apparition that's starting to form. And so we at that time, when he was taking the picture, I had actually gotten 2 really, really good EVPs. Now, and y'all are probably wondering why I'm laughing, and it's because every YouTube, no matter what, she's been sleeping. I was gonna lock her up in the closet. in the bedroom, but I knew she would probably make more noise wanting to get out. So I'm just gonna have to put up with all this kitty loving while I tell y'all my story. But anyway, the first EVP that we got was not a voice. we're very quiet. All of us got very quiet. Nobody moved for 30 seconds. And you'll hear, I'm going to play it for you. You will hear like, I think 2, maybe 3 footsteps walking up to me. And of course, what happened is he took the picture of me as I'm speaking. But then you have this breath, this breathing. And it sounds, when I played it back, it kind of scared everybody because it just sounds very demon-like, you know. And but I was very grateful that I got that EVP because for me it was the ghost letting me know, the spirit letting me know that that's the way he was breathing when he was there at the TB hospital. So, you know, that made sense. So what I'm going to do is I want to play the first EVP, and it is the one where he is breathing, and it's you'll hear the footsteps first, and then you'll hear the deep breaths. So here he goes. I'm going to play this. Yes. Okay. So for me, when I played that back, and if you can just imagine everything when I'm recording these EVPs and I turn that recorder on, I mean it's like dead silent. You don't hear anything. We were up on the first floor of the TB hospital, but it's way off the road. You can't hear any cars, or you can't hear children playing. I mean, you can't hear anything. So for me to hit that button and play back and instantly get that sound of something walking up to me and then the breathing, I'm going to play it one more time. Yes. Now, when we played it back, that really did, I did become quite excited about that. So I wanted to go ahead and try again to see if he was still with us. And again, when I went to do the recording, we're all very quiet. And then I wait the 30 seconds. And then this was the second recording. Still, we're not getting any voices, but we're getting more of the breathing. And this is the second one. Now, in this one, I didn't really tell you anything in advance, but I'm holding the recorder, and so when I click it on, it's very quiet, you know, and there's nothing happening, and then all of a sudden you hear a little bit of movement. You have to realize that we're not moving. I mean, I watch everybody, and I think there's 5 of us all together. We're not moving. And then all of a sudden you hear that kind of fluffy sound like the only thing that comes to mind with that is maybe as I'm holding the recorder that it comes over and maybe touches it or tries to fill it out, maybe interact with its energy, I don't know. And then you can hear the breath. So I'm going to play it one more time. Now this one is a little bit longer. I held on to this one for some reason I did a minute instead of 30 seconds. So very quiet. And now the sounds will start. Okay. Ooh. And then again, I think we've been very lucky to, just as we're hearing that breathing, that was a condition in, with the tuberculosis, was that it would get into your lungs and it would be very difficult for you to breathe. So somehow, some way, we were communicating. They weren't speaking, or he wasn't, or she wasn't speaking, but we did hear that breath. That and it really did unnerve some of the students that were there. They were almost, thinking maybe we should just go, But I was explaining to them, this is what we're here for. So let's don't run off quite yet. Now, as we were walking up and down the hallway, every once in a while I would stop and take a picture myself, and I did capture a couple of like misty figures, and so that made me feel like that we were maybe going to be able to get more EVPs. I think EVPs are my absolute favorite. Sometimes I wish I would have taken more pictures, or sometimes I would wish that I had maybe taken a little bit longer in doing videos. But EVPs just come really good for me. No matter what kind of recorder I have, I can usually get some pretty good EVPs. Now, on the next EVP that I want to play for you, this one, it starts out kind of, like I say, when I first asked them to come through, we're all very quiet. So on this one, you can hear like, it sounds like a wheel rolling. And so I immediately thought that's a gurney. And then you can even hear the metal as the wheel is rolling. There's like a metal sound. And then let me see, I made some notes on that because I want you to be able to understand what's going on. Then you will hear, like when people pass and their heart stops beating, and then you hear that ooh sound, and it's going straight. So you'll hear that, and then you'll hear, it's very faint though, but you do hear him say, the body has gone. You can really hear the body, but you have to really listen to hear the has gone. But on this particular one, you hear the gurney rolling down the hall, and then you hear that continuation of the sound as if the heart had stopped beating, and then you hear the body is gone. Okay, here's the wheel. You can hear it rolling. The metal clanking. Here's the ooh. There you go. The body has gone. Now I'll play it again. Again, you'll hear nothing at the beginning, and then you'll hear the wheels start to roll, and as it's rolling, you can kind of hear clink, 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 as it rolls. And then you'll hear whoo, as if he has passed. And then you will hear at the very end, and I'll kind of try to point when it happens, and he says, "The body has gone." Here's all right, there's that one. And I thought that was really interesting, that when we do get our EVPs, they're very much related to what's happening at that time. So that would make sense for us to get, first of all, the wheels. You could hear the wheels kind of clank, 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 clank. And then that ooh, as if the heart had stopped. And then he says, "The body has gone." Now, during this investigation, just like any other investigation, at one point we were walking in and out of the rooms like we do. And 3 different times I would be walking around and I'd hear a growl, and it was like, just like that. And then I would turn and look, and at one time I thought maybe somebody had moved a chair, because we did have a chair in there. And I thought maybe, like when you drag a chair across the floor and it kind of, like that. And I thought, so I go and investigate. Nobody's moved any chairs or anything. And then I turn and I walk down the hall in another direction, and I heard it again. It just kind of went like that. So then I go back and I check with everybody, and nobody's, going on. So then the third time it happens, I comment. I said, I keep hearing this growl. It kind of goes like, grr. And after I explain how it sounds, you'll hear the growl. And then you'll hear my husband that was with me at the time. He says, "They're trying to speak." And but I just thought it was really interesting that I describe the growl, I do the growl, and then the growl comes back as an EVP. So I'm going to play that.
Okay, did you hear that growl? That kind of, that's what I was hearing.
There it is, the growl, right there when I described it. I'll play it one more time.
Okay, did you hear that growl? That kind of, that's what I was hearing.
So that was pretty good. It kind of excites me when I tend to hear things, and then I will mention it before I stop my recorder and listen to go back, because for me it just kind of validates that, in fact, that there are times when I do hear the EVPs, and it just really thrills me that in hearing the EVPs that we can later go back and listen to the audio and then find the same thing that I've described. So as we continue on this particular investigation, I was really excited about hopefully being able to talk, communicate, and get more of the EVPs. And in one area I went in and I started talking. I'm not quite sure what I say. I'm going to play it. And you'll hear, "Don't go." So let me play that and let you listen to that EVP.
I want to see if I can catch you in any of these rooms. Can you show yourself? Are you the man that pushed me the time that I came? You pushed me. Is that who you are?
Yes, after I said, "Are you the one that pushed me? Push me?" And he says, "Don't go." And I'm going to play it one more time.
I want to see if I can catch you in any of these rooms. Can you show yourself? Are you the man that pushed me the time that I came? You pushed me. Is that who you are?
So that was a really good response to that one. Now, the next one that I'm going to play, it was really cold that night. And, but I was the smart, I guess, used to being ghost hunting in all kind of weather. But when it gets really cold, I was really dressed to the max. I had on long johns, and then I had on blue jeans, and then over the blue jeans I had on big thick sweats, and then I had my coat on and my vest on. So I was pretty layered, but I was still cold. And in this particular EVP, I said something, I wonder what the temperature is or something like that. And then I comment on the cold, and then the EV comes through and it says, I'm cold. So I thought that was pretty cool that they could also feel that, you know, the cold weather, that they're cold as well.
See what the temperature is in here.
I'm cold.
I don't think it can get much colder. I'm hearing whispers. Is that somebody whispering?
Okay, again, as I said, I'm going to check the temperature in here, and you'll hear, I'm cold. And then I say something about being cold. I don't think it can get any colder. And then I'm like, is there anybody whispering in here? Because as I was talking, I did hear whispers. And so that was, again, kind of neat that I mentioned the fact that I did hear the whispers. And then we got the EVP, I'm cold. So let me play it again. I think it comes through right when I say, wonder what the temperature is. And then it's, I'm cold.
See what the temperature is in here. I don't think it can get much colder. I'm hearing whispers. Is there somebody whispering?
All right, so there you go. There you go with that one. So basically, on this night, it was there was one comedic type of thing that happened that I want to share with you, because I always have. When I ghost hunt, I tend to have a lot of fun, and sometimes things will happen, and we might even think we got something wonderful, and then we play it back, and then we realize that it's not. We debunk it, and then we laugh about it, because I think you just need to really keep things light. And on this particular investigation, the judge executive decided to come with us. He's like, he gave me permission to take my class in there, and he's like, I want to see what all this is about. Now, I will tell you that it was really funny, because the first time that I presented myself to the judge executive, and I brought my material in and everything, he kind of looked at me and says, well, I just want to let you know I don't believe in this stuff. And I said, oh, that's fine. I can appreciate that. And he says, and teasingly, I'm sure, and maybe he was serious. He was like, I could just have you hauled away to the funny farm, and kind of having a little bit of fun with me. So he was there that night, and we're standing around, and he's kind of watching what we're doing and listening to our meters, and just, he wanted to observe. And we were trying to, like I said at the beginning, we were trying to get the little girl to come through. And we were having a hard time. I'd play my recorder back, and it would just be solid, dead, nothing. And then we'd try again. I'd play my recorder back, and it would just be solid, dead, nothing. But in that instant, in that session where I got the footsteps coming up and then the heavy breathing, when I played that back, and when it was really funny, because when the footsteps came up, we all looked at each other, and we're like, and I'm pointing at the recorder. We're not saying anything. I'm holding it up, and it continues to play, and we're just looking around, and some of the students are like, it really frightened them. They didn't expect it, and we hadn't been getting anything. And so just as it ended, the judge executive looked and said, "Oh my goodness, look at the time, guys. I have another appointment. I do have to leave, and y'all have a good time, and I'll talk to you later." And he left. But for me, we had to laugh at that because we felt like he heard that and he probably thought, "Okay, that's it for me. I'm out of here." But he wouldn't, maybe admit it. But I really don't think he had an appointment. I just think that he heard that EVP and that was probably enough for him. So that was our funny moment. Now, I really enjoyed being able to go and do these investigations, and I have some more, and I have pictures, and I have EVPs, and I have also some videos, and I hope that you'll check back later, because I am just going to continue to do these posts and to share with you the things that we caught and why we think we caught them, and just have a lot of fun with it. But in the meantime, if you guys enjoy these little stories, these bits and pieces of experiences that we get when we go on these ghost investigations, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and that will let you know when I'm going to post again. I also do a blog, and that's at www.pattystar.com. And the blog, when I write the blogs out about these videos, I include a little bit more sometimes, a little bit more about the history and maybe some of the other things that could have happened. During the YouTube, I just try to hit on the higher points, especially when I have things to show you guys. But and coming soon, I know I've said this before, but coming soon, we're going to have a podcast coming out. Now, the podcast, the name of it is The Eerie and Bizarre with Patty Starr, and my co-host will be Brian Pitts. And he's a little more skeptic than I am, but he's already let me know that if he does join us on a investigation and things start happening like some of these things that I play and show you guys, he says he's out of here. So we'll just have to wait and see how that all comes together. So I want to thank you and you guys. I'm loving it that you're coming back time after time to listen to these stories. Oh, and if you by any chance can relate anything, I know sometimes when I do these, people say, "Oh, my grandmother was a nurse at the hospital," or "I remember when I was little and I used to break into that place." If you have any kind of neat stories about the old building, in 2012, I think it was, they actually tore the building down, so there's nothing left standing. There is the very entrance. They did not destroy that, and it's like a monument. So if you do go to Paris, Kentucky, that's all that's left is the monument. There's no more buildings. They tore all of those down. So you guys take care, and thank you for joining me. And again, subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.